It's the Christian Taliban, just with the Bible and not the Quran. It's insane. It's the Christian Taliban.
More deplorable, disgusting moral rot coming from the Trump administration as this was the image of Liam Ramos, captured 2 weeks ago, an image that quickly spread across the globe and stirred public outrage. The photograph showed a 5-year-old boy at the center of a story that many found deeply disturbing. Liam Ramos lived in Minnesota with his father, Adrian Ramos, his mother, and his sibling. The family was in the United States legally, present as asylum claimants after entering the country in December of 2024. One afternoon, Liam returned home from school with his father. That was when federal immigration agents intervened. Outside their home, ICE agents confronted Adrian Ramos and took him into custody. Liam stood nearby as his father was seized. Inside the house, his mother screamed in fear, unsure how to respond. Adrian Ramos warned her not to open the door, afraid she would also be detained, leaving their other child alone. Within moments, the family was separated. Adrian Ramos and his 5-year-old son were transported to a detention facility in Texas. The reaction was swift. Across the world, people expressed shock and condemnation. In the United States, however, support for the action was not uncommon. Polling data shows that roughly 80% of white American evangelicals support former President Donald Trump and immigration and customs enforcement. Statistically, this means that 4 out of 5 white evangelicals approve of enforcement actions such as the one taken against the Ramos family. There are exceptions, as yes, not all eventual polls have reached this level of depravity. Approximately 20% do not share the deplorable, monstrous, grotesque opinions of the Trump cult. But the depravity has taken hold and it does not appear to be going anywhere. Luckily, the federal courts have seemed to still be working somewhat. Last Friday, a Texas judge, identified as Judge Frank, or Fred, Berry, ordered the release of Adrian and Liam Ramos.
I want to talk a little bit about what the judge said in deciding to free the father and son combo. He said that this whole case, and I'm going to quote here, Reed, in the ill-conceived and incompetently implemented government pursuit of daily deportation quotas, apparently even if it requires traumatizing children. And let me tell you, this judge made a lot of scathing remarks, almost giving the Trump administration a quote, civics lesson.
The judge also cited what he described as the government's disregard for foundational American principles, including the Declaration of Independence. Notably, he referenced biblical passages emphasizing the protection of children, concluding with a brief but pointed moral rebuke. On Sunday, Adrian Ramos and his son were flown back to Minneapolis, where they were reunited with Liam's mother and sibling. During the flight, Liam was briefly invited into the cockpit, a small moment of relief after weeks of uncertainty. Many viewed the reunion as a positive outcome. Not everyone agreed. Some American evangelicals criticized the decision, arguing that the father and son should not have been released. Representative Ilhan Omar announced Liam's return in a public statement, thanking Representative Joaquin Castro for accompanying the family and welcoming the child home. The statement was met with backlash from several conservative commentators. Among them was Megan Basham, who publicly praised ICE and falsely claimed that Adrian Ramos had abandoned his son. That claim was later contradicted by eyewitness testimony. Multiple neighbors reported seeing ICE agents arrest the father and separate him from his child. A local school board member present at the scene confirmed that account. Liam was left outside while his mother remained inside the home, afraid to open the door. Father and son were detained together. There was no abandonment. Nevertheless, praise for the operation persisted in some circles. Critics argue that the response reflects a broader pattern of dehumanization, one that prioritizes enforcement over the well-being of children and families. Historians note that similar moral rationalizations have appeared before, often during periods of intense nationalism and fear of outsiders. When people ask how self-identified Christians in the 1930s and 1940s justified the persecution of entire populations, this is how. Through lies. Through dehumanization. Through moral numbness. The case of Liam Ramos has become more than a single incident. It is now cited as a reflection of deeper divisions within American society, and a test of its moral compass. This is not a story about policy alone. It is a story about values. And it is still unfolding.